Well, good evening and welcome to the You Purpose Me Institute September edition. I was actually thinking about this earlier. I'm like, oh my goodness, we've been going hard since March, I believe. So we've been together for some months now. We're winding down, but it's always a privilege to meet with you guys. I love seeing you. So I'm thankful for this platform that we're able to see each other since we can't physically always see each other. But we are in for a treat tonight. We have my sister girl, my friend, my ride or die, business partner, and my prayer warrior, and so many other things. But I thought it was fitting for her to speak to you on tonight because the area, the direction that most of you are, that all of you are going into, is going to be one of media. You know, the word tells us not to despise small beginnings. So it doesn't matter who's following you now, who's not following you. But I do believe that God is taking each and every one of us very far. And there's a way for us to carry ourselves online and when God gives us a certain platform. And so I wanted to invite Naomi tonight to really just talk about how to stand out online, primarily in a digital space, and how to stand out even when, you know, you may have a shy personality, and how you can still shine and still be the light that God has called you to be in media arenas such as radio, online, and things of that nature, even TV. And so I think she's an excellent example on being authentic and being transparent and just being herself. And she's not, the only thing she does is not just TV and radio personality, but she has so many other things going on in the background, and just the way she juggles them. I admire that. So I just wanted her to speak to you tonight on that platform. It's normally, you know, it's still very informal. You can ask questions throughout the conversation. If there's something specific to what you're working on right now, definitely feel free to chime in, and, you know, either her or myself will help you the best way you can. As always, I want to remind you that this is a recorded line. So, of course, anything that we share is going to be shareable with other people. But we know that we overcome by the blood of the Lamb and by the word of our testimony. So even if it gets personal, we never know when where the conversation is going to turn. But, you know, you sharing will be able to help somebody else as well. And I will definitely share this link out to you over the next few days. But I definitely want to I don't want to belabor any more time. I want to give the platform to my friend, Miss Naomi, Miss Be Inspired Burrell.
Yes. Okay, so hello everyone. I wanted to make sure I did that first. Gave all my greetings and love to everybody. Kadisha, thank you so much for having me on this platform.
You're so welcome.
And I appreciate you trusting me with those that you work with very closely. I think that's an honor when someone invites you to speak to the people that they work with. So thank you for that. I appreciate you trusting me in this way.
You're welcome.
As Kadisha said, I do wear many different hats, but tonight I'm an open book. I'm here to help you. I'm here to help you to put your best foot forward, your best self forward. That's what this conversation is going to be about, and using digital media to do that. And I'm going to explain to you the difference between digital media and media itself. I think it's important to make that distinction because we are moving into that digital age. We're already in the digital media age. And we'll talk about that a little bit more. But I'm an open book tonight. I'm going to talk to you transparently about my transitions, how I've come to be in media, and I want you to feel comfortable with asking me questions. I'm going to talk to you from my experience. I'm the type of person where I'm not going to give you any information or any nuggets that I haven't, for one, experienced, that I haven't, for one, worked on, tried. And because I feel like you can be more authentic when you speak from your point of reference, from your point of experience. So I'm going to talk about that a little bit too. So background information from me, about me, yes, I'm a mother. I'm a wife. I have two wonderful children. They're 8 and 9 now. Stair step children. Yes, they are. I am an entrepreneur. I have my own business. My husband and I actually went full time in May with our own business, Be Inspired Global LLC. It is a media consulting firm. And that's a huge step to go from working in the federal government for over 16 years and to step out on faith and become an entrepreneur. It has definitely been an interesting transition, but it's been full of awesome surprises, amazing doors. But the first thing was that step of faith, stepping out there and saying yes to that next point in your life. So I was able to do that, and I'm grateful for all the doors that have opened since then. I'm a published author, Wisdom on the Wall with Kadisha Carroll and Alicia Adams. I'm always proud to talk about that because that is a byproduct of collaboration, which you'll hear me mention too throughout our conversation tonight, which is a huge part of also branding yourself. Not being afraid to collaborate, share your platform, and we'll talk about that a little bit more too. And I am a published journalist. I work for Monarch Magazine as a journalist. I do interview. I've had the chance to interview a lot of wonderful celebrities, and I've published several articles in Monarch Magazine. And then finally, I am a philanthropist. I am part of the Wisdom on the Wall Incorporated. I'm so excited to say that. But I'm part of that wonderful team, and I'm just excited. And for me, that's a huge part of what I do, helping other people. And that's what it is about tonight. So you'll see me referring to my notes. All my attention is on you, but I might be referring over here to my notes because I want to make sure I'm giving you everything tonight. So we're going to get right into the presentation. I'm going to talk to you about Be Inspired Global, what it is. And one thing that I know in business, simplify. Somebody say simplify.
Simplify.
Take notes if you have to. But when you are in business, especially when you are starting out, simplify. Do not feel like you have to start your business off offering 1,000 services.
Wait, Naomi, before you go forward, I
Yes.
just realized that you sent me a presentation. Do you want them to see it? Because I can share it, or do you want to just kind of speak to it? It's totally up to you.
I could just speak to it. It's fine.
Okay.
Yeah. So simplify. That's what you need to do. Make sure you write that somewhere on your notes. Simplify. Do not feel like you have to offer 1,000 services or 1,000 products when you first start your business. And so that has been instrumental in the forming of Be Inspired Global, which is a media consulting firm. Yes, I can do many different things, and so can my husband. But we felt that the most effective way to do it was to choose those few services that we know we can offer effectively. So we simplified it. And so the way we did it was to pick 3 keywords or terms that represent our business well. And the first word is start. And the reason why I'm explaining it like this, because I want you to grasp this. We're going to get into the media part, but this is a huge part of your branding as well. Simplifying, not putting too much on your brand, because what you do is you can overwhelm yourself and your audience. You can overwhelm yourself and your audience. So simplify. So for our business, what we did was we broke it down to 3 words and terms. The first is start. We help clients to start or establish their own media business and platforms. The next one is expand. We help clients to grow their business platform through the use of digital media. And the last is go global. We help clients to gain global influence and exposure. So when we say be inspired global, where we help people to start, expand, and go global. You see how clean and simple that is? So coming up with something that effectively represents your company, and that's what Be Inspired Global does. We help people to start up their own media platforms. And in some ways, we also help businesses as well, because if they're starting out and they want to know how we can effectively market our business. We go in and we help them to develop a marketing plan that goes inside of their business plan to help them expand. And then expanding means you already have an existing platform in place, but you just want to grow it. So we come in and teach you some exciting ways on how to do that. And there are many, many ways that you can do that, including leveraging digital media, which we're going to talk about. And then go global. The world is so much more open for us nowadays because of digital media. Gone are the days when you're just kind of stuck to your local assemblies, for lack of a better way of saying it. Because of digital media, we have access to the world now. You can call yourself international if you have international connections. Even if you don't go into international soil by way of social media, if you have a connection by way of social media, and I'll give you an example. If you have a connection by way of social media, you can now say, my company is international. It's the truth. So I'll give you an example. On social media, on Facebook, I was able to make a connection with a young lady from Australia. And she came on to my radio show. She ended up being a regular guest on my radio show every month. And she was a contributor. So she would come on every month. And then from there, we ended up doing some other business together. So just by making connection by way of social media with this person all the way in Melbourne, Australia, I can now say that my company or my radio show is now international. So I'm going to talk to you about how to leverage social media and digital media and to make yourself go global. And that's the wonderful thing about digital media and about social media. A lot of people get afraid of using it because they're like, I don't want to deal with, the negativity. I don't want to deal with, my privacy being, impeded or something like that. But there's so much more to it than what you see negatively about it. There's so much more that you can access. And I want to show you how to do that. So for our company, though, the bottom line is always the people, not the profit. Write that down. Your business should be about the people and not the profit. Because what will happen is you will find yourself chasing the sales, being exhausted by that, chasing that next lead, and that will be the driving force of your business. But when you make it about making an impact on the people, on your client, they will be so excited about your business or your brand that they will not mind telling other people about it. They won't. They'll be like, you know what? Kadisha was so awesome. Tobias was so awesome. Just being in his presence was so amazing that, I'm going to tell my friend about them. And that's what you can do on social media as well. I'm going to tell you about that. You're going to use social media. You're going to look at social media in a whole different light by the time we're done, because it's not about the profit or making the sale, but it's about the people. And even when you use social media, and you're posting to social media, make it about the people. See, what the problem is with social media and why people get so frustrated with using it. And I'm using social media because that's only one form of digital media. But social media itself, people get frustrated with it because people use it only for themselves, to glorify themselves. They're posting pictures. Oh, I'm at this, I'm at this, I'm at that, But when you are building a brand or a business, when you're posting, you have to have your audience in mind, your target audience in mind. So it's about the people and not the profit. Okay. So let's talk about digital media a little bit and your image. As I told you, social media is just one form of digital media. You can have your website. That's all part of digital media. You can do a vlog, which is a video blog. You can do a blog, a traditional blog. You can put books online now. They have online magazines. There is so much to your use in terms of digital media. And the reason why I need to express this is because the definition of digital media itself is digitized content that can be transmitted or transferred, however you want to say, over to the internet or to computer networks. And that's important because say you did a workshop at some school. Somebody invited you out to be a speaker and you have it recorded. You can now take that recording, transfer it to the internet, maybe to your website, give someone the link to it, and or you may decide you want to monetize it and say, hey, I'm gonna give you a sneak peek of this video. Here's where you can go for a sneak peek. If you want to see the rest of it, you can subscribe to my website. So now you have digitized your material, your content, and made it accessible for a larger audience. And so that's one of the beauties of digital media. You can take your content, transfer it to the internet, and now you've expanded your reach. Just that simple.
Wait, Naomi, I got to stop you, girl. You're giving too many nuggets. My screen. So first, I want you, if you could, if you can give us the definition again, if you can repeat the definition of digital media.
Absolutely. It is digitized content that can be transmitted or transferred over the internet, over to the internet or computer networks. I'll say it one more time. Digitized content that can be transmitted over the internet or computer networks. And that can include books, magazines, audio, any kind of audio. Like the example I gave you of something, of maybe a workshop that you did and you were able to record it. Blogs, vlogs, things like that. And some of the more popular sites that you can use is YouTube. You can always create a channel on YouTube. For some of you, this may not be new information, but it's always good to remind yourself of the resources that are out there. So you could always do YouTube. You could do social media, as we spoke before, your website. All of these are considered digital media. And the difference between digital media and just media, you ever heard of the term brick and mortar, right? So a brick and mortar would be like a store that you just see walking down the street. But when you go digital, you transfer that store that you have walking down the street and you now put it online. And now you have an online store where people can buy your product. And so that's what you do when you use digital media versus regular media, where you go to the store and buy a newspaper or a magazine off of the stand and things like that. And so we are now the digital, let me back up because I want to explain to you that digital media is not new. It's something that's been around since the 70s, since internet started, and since computers were started. That was the onset of digital media. But we are in the age of digital technology where that is mostly what we use. So when you go for an interview now, it's so much so that they'll ask you if you have a LinkedIn page. Because we are in the digital technology, digital media phase or age. And that's why it's important for us to learn how to use digital media for our expansion of our brand and for expansion of our business, because we're in that age where everything is digitized. Everything. All of our information, all of our data, everything is being automated, and it's important to know how to leverage it, not to be afraid of it. And you do have to be conscious of how you use it for your image, because we've seen different ones like, what's her name? Roseanne. All she did was put out one tweet about somebody and it ruined her whole career. So you have to be careful of how you use it, but definitely leverage it for your benefit, because there are a lot of advantages. So that's the digital media. Now we're going to talk about image. Does anybody have any questions before I go on?
I definitely wanted to pause for some questions because you gave so much great information, and I appreciate you sharing and breaking it down that way, because for me, I think it would help. It helps us not to be intimidated by going online, because so often we think we have to put our face online. We have to put, we have to do Facebook Lives. But what you showed us, you outlined different things that we can do where I can record something and that can still be me online without it having to be all of me. So I appreciate you breaking it down in that form and manner, and really touching on the connecting piece, leveraging social media as a connection tool, and not just sell, and not let it be just about me, but let me see. Maybe there's someone I can connect with, that I can help, that I can mentor. Maybe there's someone I can bring a voice to here on the tri-state area, and vice versa. And what you're saying is so true and so accurate, Naomi, in terms of taking the business, and not just business, ministry, globally and internationally, because that's what God wants us to do. He wants us to take it to the ends of the earth. And so we're able to do that through social media. So I am excited. I need my popcorn for the rest of this child. But I want to definitely make sure you guys ask her any questions as it relates to that portion of it.
Yes, I'm an open book. So any questions you have that I can answer, I will be happy to.
I do.
Hi.
How are you, Miss Naomi? It's good to see you.
Doing well. Same here.
So I did have a question. That was one of my questions. Could I record myself, giving maybe just a 2-minute inspirational segment, post it on social media, which all I have right now is, I do have a Twitter account. I forgot about that. But I hardly use it, but post it on Facebook, and then, just something inspirational that can travel around. So, but thank you. You answered that. That was one of my questions.
Perfect. So first of all, I want to commend you for not having a ton of social media pages to manage. That's the mistake that a lot of people make. They feel like just because there is a Twitter and a Facebook and a Snapchat and a LinkedIn, that they need to be on all of those platforms. I usually, and people look at me like I'm crazy when I say this as a digital media professional, but I always discourage that if you feel like you're not going to be able to manage it well. Okay. I always say pick 1 or 2 social media platforms that you can be consistent with, unless you have someone who can help you manage it. Because what you do not want to do is misrepresent your brand on any one of those platforms by being inconsistent.
Okay.
And I'm speaking from experience, because I've been on all of these platforms, and maybe I was only able to be consistent on Facebook and LinkedIn. Well, maybe those are the only 2 that I need to have right now until I'm able to expand my brand to other platforms. So you have to think about it like that. Think about your brand and how you want to expand it. So when you're ready to expand your brand, meaning your bandwidth has increased, meaning now you have maybe a virtual assistant who can manage your pages for you, or you've learned how to use systems like Hootsuite that allows you to schedule your posts. If you're not at that level yet, then my advice would be to limit how many social media pages you have until you're able to manage them effectively. So good job on that.
Thank you. And that was my other question. As far as because I don't know, I'm very private. So I didn't want to have too much of me out there, you know what I mean? And I was like, if it ever came to the point where I had to, I'm just thinking real big, like Kadisha, at the end of Kadisha's text messages, believe bigger. If I ever had to hire somebody to help me with managing social media, that was something that I know that I would have to consider, hiring somebody to manage those for me, because I'm just like Facebook and that's it. Twitter, for me, is every once in a while. I don't, every once in a while I'm on there, but Facebook, I'm on there quite a bit. So thank you so much.
You're welcome. Yeah.
And just a resource for hiring, particularly interns, is internships.com. So, as you grow, you may not want to pay someone, or maybe you want to give them credit, or maybe you want to give them expertise, you'll be surprised how many people are looking for either volunteer hours, or a credit for college, or just simply want to learn. If people are making a transition from one industry to another, sometimes they just want to learn. And so they will be willing to work for free, or work for food, like my, like my email. But you can use internships.com as a resource. And that's actually how I started with my event planning, and everybody wants to be an event planner. So I had no problems getting an intern. But depending on your industry, it may be a little bit more challenging, but maybe you can go with someone who's in your family, or someone you go to church with, and they need volunteer hours for high school or for college. You can ask them to be an intern, outline it, make sure that it is, something that's worth their while as well as worth yours. But that's definitely a resource if you don't want to handle social media. There was one other thing. Oh, Naomi, I wanted to get your take on this in terms of, I guess, going back to Carolyn's point about doing an audio. Mm-hmm. I know as women, we just got to be real. We don't like being on platforms if our hair is not together, if our makeup ain't right. So one thing that I've done, and I wanted to get your take on it, Naomi, is just use pictures. Sometimes if I'm not ready to be live, or don't want, or my environment is not conducive to going live, with Carolyn's audio, could she use a professional picture? So that way people still get a feel for who she is and what she looks like, but it just may not be her, live.
Yes, that is perfectly fine. And in fact, Facebook has expanded its platform to include audio live. So if perhaps you wanted to do audio live on there, you can just decide, I'm going to go audio instead of doing the video live, and use your profile picture. And in my notes, so that actually is my next point, Kadisha. So nice work, nice segue. Thank you. So yeah, so when you are, my next topic is actually image is everything. Image is everything, and we're going to talk about that. So yes, my answer is it's perfectly okay to use a photo.
Before you go there, I think Tobias had a question. Sorry. Okay. Did you, Tobias?
So yeah, no, I mean you can get to it later, but yeah, Naomi, I was wondering, when you talk about being about the people and not profit, can you kind of give me a picture of what that looks like on social media and how you can tell who's about that and who's not?
Yes. Okay. So I'm actually in grad school right now as a digital entrepreneur grad student. And one of the things that they said to do is to establish yourself as an expert, if I could say it that way. So how that would look on social media is that you would be sharing information. Maybe you went on a site, maybe you went on Forbes or something like that and saw an interesting article that could be helpful to someone else. And it's good to do that because they're seeing you as not the person that's trying to get them to buy into your business, but you're actually sharing information with them for free. You see what I'm saying? Or you could say, hey, I just, I have this list of 10 ways that you can do X, Y, and Z. I'm giving it to you for free, or like I usually do, I post inspirational quotes that would help people. Maybe I have what I call a personal reflection, where I share bits and pieces of what I'm going through in my life at the moment that can be inspirational to someone. And that has really been very popular. People like it when you put stuff about yourself on there, So the point is to connect with the people so that they can get to know you and not just your product and your services.
Go ahead.
No. And when you do that, people will inquire about what it is that you do. I've had people inbox me like, are you a speaker, or what is it that you do? And I have a chance to share my business with them. So I don't get on there and say, hey, buy my 5-step program to how to look your best on social media. I don't do that. I just share parts of who I am on social media. And it's not that I have all the answers, because again, I'm still learning as well, because I'm in grad school. But what I have found effective for me is to share the information with people, give them nuggets, give them links to things, and make it about them versus the product. And when you have, and so how that looks for a business or a brand is that maybe you have a business page. You sell, so you have cupcakes.com and you got a Facebook page for cupcakes.com. You know, you're sharing with them little recipes. Like how can I make a cupcake on a budget? How can I, how can I design my cupcakes, giving them tips and things like that. And you're intriguing them, you're drawing them into your page because you're giving them something. You're making them feel like they are a priority by sharing helpful information with them. And then you sprinkle in, so it's this technique called 1 out of 7. 1 out of 7 is 1 out of 7 of your posts should be about your product or your service. All the other 6 should be about information you are sharing with them, that you're giving to them. That's related to your brand and your business, of course. And for me, inspiration. So I'm giving them inspirational information. I'm giving them links to an informational article. I'm sharing an inspirational quote that I saw on someone else's page, things like that. So I hope that answered your question, Tobias.
No, that was really helpful. Thank you.
Oh, good. Okay.
Yeah, no, gave me a lot of information.
Awesome. Okay, so I'm gonna move on to the next topic, which is image is everything. And so when we're talking about our brand on social media, we're talking about putting our business on social media or on digital media in general, when we talk about our website and things like that, especially when we use images. And that's why I said, to Kadisha's point about the audio, using pictures for audio, always say you should use, and this is something that I coined, so I'm going to have to, trademark it. I'll give myself a pat on the back for it. It's called the 1-2 punch impression. The 1-2 punch impression. So your impression, your photo, whatever it is, should show personality, but be professional. The 1-2 punch impression. Personality, professional. So if you look on my social media page, you're welcome to do that at any time. You'll see that the pictures that I have are actual professionally done photos. I had a photo shoot, and the great thing about the person that I chose was that she was able to draw my personality out in the photos. So whatever photo I used, it represented who I was. But yet it's professional. It presents me as someone who is trustworthy. Like, I want to do business with that young lady. I want to have her come and host my event, because your image, your photo, whatever you're using is both professional and it shows your personality. People want to see you. They want to connect with you, especially if you are the brand. Because listen, you have two different types of businesses. You have you as the brand. Some people are their brand. And then you have whatever your business or product or service is. Either way, you want that 1-2 punch approach, personality and professional. And for a product or service, how that would look is, if you were selling cupcakes, you're going to get the best looking picture or image of that cupcake you can find that represents the type of business that you have. So if you're a type of business and your cupcake business is you make the most fun cupcakes there are, well, you're going to post a picture of maybe a cupcake with sprinkles and color, but yet it's neat, it's professional. So 1-2 punch approach or 1-2 punch impression is personality and professional. I hope I explained that. Does anybody have any questions around that? Okay. As I already told Tobias, so he kind of helped me to go a little further ahead in my notes. Establish yourself as an expert online in the digital world. So if you're on social media, if you have a YouTube channel, if you, whatever it is, if you have a website, establish yourself as an expert in whatever your brand or your product or service is. Meaning you're offering them helpful hints, helpful tips. You're giving them information. Hey, look, I came across this information in cupcakes, whatever. I'm just using that. That's our base example, cupcake business. But, whatever your base is, you go back to that and you give them information, establish yourself, because what people will do, again, they will inquire about your information on social media, on digital media, when you establish yourself as the expert. The other thing I'm going to say is, especially for social media, and you'll see me kind of go in between the different platforms on digital media. Social media, connect with professionals in your field. So a lot of times the reason why people are so intimidated by social media is because it just seems like you're friends with all these people on there, and sometimes they're posting stuff that you don't care to see. But you can control that. You can control that. And I'm going to tell you how. So for me, on my Facebook page, when I was ready to take my brand to the next level, I took a really good look at my social media pages and who I was friends with. And I assessed it. I said, does my friend list reflect where I'm going in my business? If the answer is no, then I need to change that. So how do I change that? I started doing research and just kind of going through social media, not stalking anybody, but just going through, taking a look at people that maybe was in the same field as I am already. Maybe they are in digital media already. Maybe they are in media in general, meaning they're on TV, they're in radio, they're a producer, they're something, or they're an inspirational empowerment speaker. And I just started going through and friending people that were in those fields. Yes, was I taking a risk? Of course, but risk taking is part of the deal. It just is. If you want to take your brand to the next level, you want to take your business to the next level, then that's what you need to do. So that's what I started doing. I started connecting with people in my field. And what happened was those people, they started to reach out to me and connect, like, hey, thank you for friending me, I started making even more connections, and to the point where I'm almost at 5,000 professional friends on Facebook, with the exception of family and friends that I already had on my page. And so now when I go down my timeline, I see people talking about they are traveling. They are doing this for their business. They are on Fox News, expanding their business. And that's what I'm constantly seeing. And what that does is causes you to level up. Not to be intimidated, but level up. So you're connecting with professionals in your field. And what's wonderful about those connections is you have access to global access now. So I don't just have people in the US on my friends list on Facebook. I have friends in the UK that are professionals, Australia, Jamaica, Canada, all over. And now I have broadened my spectrum, broaden my reach to have people all over the globe now that I can reach, that are resources and legitimate resources, because they actually have businesses and stuff that they're working on, So connect with professionals in your field. I'm going to say this because this is a huge part of connecting, and I'm going to talk too about kingdom building, building the kingdom of God through social media as well. But we're talking about the business aspect of it. Be sincere and genuine in your approach. Don't be disingenuous. People want to see the real you. They want to know who the real you is. And when you are genuine and sincere with the information that you're sharing, with who you are, people connect with you and they want to do business with you. You don't have to be somebody else that you're not. I tell people all the time, and Tobias, he has connected with me on this level too. I've shared my story of dealing with anxiety and depression with people. But what's inspirational about that is that I am an entrepreneur. So I didn't allow that part of my life to control the rest of my life. And sharing that is a part of me being sincere and genuine. And saying to you, yes, I have my challenges, but in terms of being a woman of God, in terms of being a mother and a wife and a business owner, I can still do it. And people are inspired by that. So be sincere, be genuine in your approach on social media. That's it. Like, just make sure you're putting your best self forward, and that means just being you. So the person you're seeing in front of you tonight on this Zoom is the Naomi that people get all the time. No different, except that, when I need to be professional, I'm professional. When I need to be silly, I can be silly, but it's all part of still who I am. So be sincere and genuine in your approach. Now, we're talking about using, because we're all men and women of God on this platform, on this call tonight, I believe. And so, yes, we can most definitely use social media and digital media for the building of our brand and our platform. But when we talk about using it for the kingdom of God, really all of it is connected, because I believe that your brand and your business is all part of the purpose and call that God has on your life. It's all part of it. It just so happens that the bonus is you may be able to monetize it. That's the bonus, but it's all part of your purpose and your call. And so when you're on social media, you have to also consider that not only am I a representation of myself as a brand or representation of my business, but I am first and foremost a representation of God. And when you put that first and foremost, you're going to automatically be mindful of what you're posting on social media. You're going to automatically think about the people that you're reaching first. You're going to automatically think about that. You're going to be like, okay, how am I presenting myself? Am I careful of the content that I'm posting? Am I inspiring people? And even if every other message is not about Jesus, something about your post should be uplifting the soul. Something about it, even if it's about your product, even if you selling body wraps, something about it should be like, listen, your body is a temple. And that's a way to say it without, quoting the scripture or whatever. Your body is a temple. Treat your body well. Treat your body well. God made you with care. You're thinking about it like that. So your business and your brand and the call on your life is all one. When you are a man or woman of God, it's all one. A lot of times we like to detach it, but you can't. You cannot. As a man or woman of God, you cannot detach your business and your brand from your call as a man or woman of God. It's going to show up. So social media is a very creative way to do it. And this will also help you, digital media rather, is a very creative way to do it. And this will help you to not be afraid of the use of digital media, understanding that you can use it to also glorify God, to glorify Him, to be the light through your business, through your brand. You can do it. You can do it all. So it's all connected, right? So Kadisha had asked me a question. She said, what are some free ways to advertise through digital media? And yes, when you're in the startup phase of your business or your brand, you're going to be budget conscious. And Kadisha will tell you, I'm all for that, being budget conscious and finding free and creative ways to expand your brand and your business. So I would say look for some local online listings. You'd be surprised. There are some, and when I say listings, for instance, Yelp and things like that. You can also post your business to Google Market. You want to put your business on Google Market if you have a business or a service that you're wanting to render. You can do Thumbtack. Have you ever heard of Thumbtack? I just learned about Thumbtack. Write that down, and when you have a chance, go research it. Thumbtack is another database of where you can go and look for any kind of services you need. If you're an inspirational coach, you can put yourself on Thumbtack. And what happens is people put in a RFP, which is a proposal for service. And what you do is you go in and you put in your proposal, say, hey, this is what I need for my business, or here's the service I'm looking for. And people can respond to you with, say, hey, I can do that job. So say somebody say, I need an inspirational speaker for an event that's coming up in October. And if you're in that database, you'll get that message and you can reply to it and say, hey, I'm available. And if that person wants to go with you, they can. So Thumbtack is another way to advertise your business. So online listings are very, very good and usually cost next to nothing. There are some that do cost, but a lot of them, they just want you in the database because it helps them too as well. Of course, good old social media. Now, what I will say is they have an option for you to, quote unquote, boost your post and things like that. And for me, it hasn't been that lucrative for me to spend money on social media ads or to pay for social media ads. I guess it depends on how much money you put into it. But if you are looking to budget or to market yourself or your brand on digital media, I would say just make sure you are leveraging your social media page to the best way that you can. You can share to groups. So start becoming part of groups on social media that will be a connection for your business. Share to those groups. I would discourage tagging a whole bunch of people on social media because that can be a little annoying when you keep tagging a whole bunch of people on all your posts, and then people are like, no. They'll either unfriend you or unfollow you. You don't want to do that. So I say avoid tagging a ton of people in your posts, but definitely share to a whole bunch of groups and stuff like that. Those are free ways to market online. You can get on internet radio shows. You'd be surprised how many internet radio shows will allow you to come on their platform for free or for next to nothing, maybe like $25 for a promo ad. So today I actually had a promo interview with a radio station in Arkansas. And it was on AM radio, but it was also online, and it only cost me $25 for that promo spot. And that was for me to promote my business, Be Inspired Global. And it was online. So you could go right to the website and listen to the promo ad. That was $25. There are some who will let you just come on their show as a guest, and that's free promotion for your business. So you can always do that. There's just a lot of different ways that you can do it. You just have to be very creative, think outside of the box, be open to the opportunities that are out there. And I'm going to stop there for questions. Does anyone have any questions?
Before we go to questions, I just want to make a comment because, we can get in the habit of taking in so much information, whether it's from conferences or from these types of sessions, and then we don't do anything with it. So I just want to encourage you as you are note-taking, maybe highlight or star or put some color around those things that are actually action items, right? Because there's information that we're gleaning that's making us more intelligent, but then there's things that we actually have to do. So she talked about LinkedIn and she talked about Thumbtack. So that's an action item. So make sure you have that stand out so you know that that's something that you have to go back and do and actually do, execute, opposed to you can read notes, but the things that you need to actually execute on, I encourage you to highlight it and make it bigger. What else? Oh, you mentioned Thumbtack. There's also Gig Salad as well. And that's if you're looking for someone like a comedian or a speaker or something like that, that's another venue. But this is all so very good, Naomi. Like I'm loving it. I'm like, are we recording? We are recording, because
Yes.
I'm like, yes, we are definitely going to reuse this and repurpose this, because this is so, this is great, you know. So I thought I had something else to say. I forgot, so it'll come back to me. But I definitely wanted to. Oh, that's what it was. Thank you, Holy Spirit. So along those same lines, in terms of executing, because I'm sitting here thinking too, like, how can I improve my online experience? I think Tanya and I talked a lot about this in our private sessions, but making sure that you schedule a time where you're actually going to commit to doing your digital media.
Mm-hmm.
Because otherwise it's going to go in one ear and out the other. And so as you're working on your to-do list or your weekly list, or however you do your action items for your business or ministry, have, even if it's just 60 minutes on Monday evening or 60 minutes on Wednesday mornings, these are going to be the times where I'm doing research. I'm making sure I'm making those connections online. Like one lady just started following me while we're on here. So I'm like, you know what? I want to not just accept her follow. I want to connect with her. And I want to ask her how she doing and what she got going on and how can I help her. So just have a day in mind, a time in mind. I know it's a lot, because running a business, it just is a lot of time and a lot of energy. But make sure you have something carved out in your schedule that is committed to your digital media presence, because it really is a lot. But I think if you invest the right amount of time, you will reap from it as well. So that was my 2 cents. But again, Naomi, I am loving it.
Yes. And I don't have a whole lot more to share, but what I am going to do is share a couple more resources to add on to what you shared too. Because when I went away to the Success Women's Now conference, they had some wonderful, wonderful sessions there. And they gave some information on some online resources that you can use. So, and I was like, you know what, this is right on time for this call tonight, because I'm going to be using it too. I told y'all, I'm not giving you any information that I'm not myself implementing. I don't speak to information that I don't know about yet, but what I've experienced, what I've researched, I can share that with you. So, of course, I said Thumbtack. They have International Virtual Assistants Association. International Virtual Assistants Association. Then they have a site called Upwork. Upwork. This is a database that you can find writers, researchers, web developers. So if you're somebody working on a book, you might need somebody to help you with the writing aspect. You have the thoughts, but you don't know how to put it into words. You could go onto the site and find somebody who can help you with this. And they have all different types of prices. The prices do vary, but they're usually very, very, very reasonable. I went on and did the research first before I shared this with y'all, because, you know, I myself am in that boat where I'm doing things on a budget. So Upwork. Then they have, of course, Fiverr. Some of you are probably very, very familiar with this. But what people don't realize about Fiverr is that they are not just for graphic design. Do your research, because you'll see you can get help with almost anything on there. Any kind of help you need. If you are looking to write a business plan, they have people on there that'll help you do that. So they've really expanded their platform to include almost any kind of help you need, and not just graphic design, but any kind of digital assistance you need. They have it all, and at very, very reasonable prices. And so those were the ones I wanted to share with you. But think of digital media as a tool for you. It is a resource. And to think about what I want people to know and understand about digital media is to not be intimidated by it, but to think of it as a resource to help you. For me, when I did the online radio show, it ended up being a resource for me. So you might be thinking, well, I don't necessarily want to be an internet radio host. It's not about actually being a radio broadcasting professional but more so using that platform to expand your message, your brand, or your business. It's a tool for you. So any kind of digital media that you use, it is a tool and a resource that you can use to help expand your business, and you can get the maximum reach using it. The maximum reach. Again, like I told you, when I was on social media on Facebook, I just connected with a whole bunch of people in my field or my field of interest or where I wanted to go. And from that, i.e., I wrote a book with Kadisha. And the way I connected with Kadisha was through Jill and Trell by way of social media. And because I met them online, I hadn't met them in face to face. We met online, we talked and chatted. They said, hey, come on out to our leadership brunch. I came, and at that leadership brunch, I met Kadisha. And then from that, Kadisha and I wrote a book together. And now we're doing ministry together. All because I use social media as a tool. I changed my mindset about it. It became a resource for me. And when it did, then I saw more opportunities come out of it versus the negativity. And so I'm going to leave you with that because there's so much more information I can give you. We might want to do a part 2 later down the line or what have you. But that's what I prepared tonight to discuss with you. And I hope it's been helpful and beneficial to you.
Absolutely. I'm sitting here like, darn it, now I got more to add to my to-do list. But no, I love your ending as using the word resource. That's what it is. Mm-hmm. And it just helped me to see, because it can be a hassle sometimes, and it is quicker to just post a pic and keep it moving. But if you want to get something out of it, you have to invest the time and invest in the online relationships. Mm-hmm. So I am so blessed. And yes, ma'am, we do need a part 2. And it may be next month, but we'll talk offline about that. But this was just so good. And I mean, I was just, my brain always goes 1,000,001 places. But even, as you were listing the resources, some of those resources you can use to bring in additional income for yourself. So if you have something you can offer on Fiverr, go on there to see if you can list your services on there.
That's right. And that's digital. That's using digital media to your advantage, because that is all part of digital media. A lot of people get stuck in thinking social media is just digital media. No, it's not. These websites, these sites are part of your digital media world.
Yeah.
You're going on to Thumbtack. You're going on to International Virtual Assistants Association. You're putting yourself online. You're giving yourself access to a different demographic or an additional demographic, or expanding your reach by using online services or digital services.
Absolutely. And I want to clarify that a bit, because I do really appreciate what you said in the beginning by not offering too many products and services, because you don't want to overwhelm yourself or your clients.
Yes.
So I wasn't necessarily talking about listing your business on Fiverr or Gig Salad or Thumbtack, but if there's that hidden talent that that technical talent, if you're a good proofreader, a good editor, or if you can do something technical that not necessarily is a part of your business, so you won't be advertising your business, you're more so advertising you, so you can bring in that additional income to fund your business. That is what I meant by that.
Okay.
But oh my goodness, so many good things here. So I'm going to hush up and let them ask you questions, and then I'll come back.
Okay.
Any preguntas? None from Shirley. Carolyn? No?
Oh. Yes, I'm sorry. So I was just going through my notes to see like what I needed clarification on. So I'll be right back.
Okay.
I have a question.
Oh, Tanya.
I'm sorry, I jumped in.
Hi, Tanya.
Hello. So my question is about when you're sharing information on social media from someone else, okay? So for example, and this is kind of the repost thing that we talked about, Khadijah, you know, making sure like that you cite them. Like, what is the proper way to do that?
Okay. So it's not as formal as when you're writing a paper and you cite someone.
Mm-hmm.
As long as you're mentioning their name at the end of the quote. So for instance, you could say, you know, you live your best life today. And then you might put a dash or something like that and put the person's name that it came from.
Mm-hmm.
That's sufficient enough. As long as you're doing that and making sure you're posting the person's name that it came from, or maybe it came from their IG site. So you can say it came from Miss Susie Brown,
Mm-hmm.
IG post or something like that. That's the way you would reference it on social media. Then you also have it where you share directly from their post. So on Facebook, for instance, you can just hit share. When you share it, you can maybe make a comment like, wow, this was a profound statement from, and then you can tag that person's name to it, and it will still reference them, but then they'll also see the original post from that person. So that's a safe way to do it because they're going to see that post from that person anyway when you share it from their original post. But if it's a quote or something like that that you just use in your post, then you make sure you put that person's name and maybe reference where it came from, because it could have come from their IG, their Instagram page, or from Twitter or something like that. So you put their name and maybe which site it came from.
Okay. And kind of along those same lines, there's so many resources on, you know, digital media. And I like the distinction, learning kind of the distinction between those, because everything isn't social media, but, you know, digital media, I'm start using that.
Yes.
For, you know, for content. So in a collegiate setting, you know, you've got to cite the author and this and that and, you know, the whole thing. But there are hundreds of worksheets, okay? For example, I'm working on developing a worksheet on, you know, identifying your transferable skills, right? I don't know every transferable skill off the top of my head, okay? I know some, you know, so now I'm pulling information from different sources in order to get a document that, you know, I'm putting together. So what are and I'm checking to see if they're copyrighted. I mean, I did know that, but what is the protocol or the process when, you know, when that's concerned?
So are you're putting it in written form, like in an article type form? Is that?
Yeah. I'm coming up with sharing a particular worksheet. So I'm working on doing a workshop, okay, and employment transition worksheet, okay, getting unstuck from your job, all right. And so one of the things that I find people ask me about all the time, you know, they'll say, I don't have the skill to do this and that or whatever. And they do, they just don't recognize it. You know, you volunteered at church for like 50 years, you know, and that's a transferable skill. So there's some I know, but there are others that I'm getting from off of the internet in different places.
Okay. So what you want to do, I've done this plenty of times, especially as I mentioned before, I'm a grad student now and I'm a digital entrepreneurship major. So they ask us a lot of times to write articles based on other articles. So what you want to do is, and then if you're going to transfer it to some kind of digital platform, you want to make sure that at the end of that article, you are referencing that website where you got it from.
Okay.
And so here's the thing about that. A lot of times now they will automatically, like if you cut and paste from a site and put it into your document, you'll see that they add the website down at the bottom of that quote or whatever you used, because they want you to reference them.
So that's their digital signature.
That's their digital signature. So you're going to take that information and you're going to put it at the end of your article. even if you're say you decided to transfer it to digital media and put it on your website as an article.
Right.
At the end of that article, you're going to make sure you're referencing that website that you got that information from. So you're still going to cite it as if you were citing it in a formal paper, but you're going to cite it on your website down at the bottom at the end of your article. So, and I'm going to encourage you, this is a little bit of homework, to go online and look at some websites like Forbes and Hunting Post. Go on those websites and look at their articles. Look at how they've drafted their articles out, and then look at the bottom and see how they reference the information that they use in their article. And that's a good reference point for you when you decide to take your worksheet and transfer it to digital media, and how you should reference it in that way.
Got it. That's excellent. Because it's like, well, I can't not take it from somebody. I'm going to get it from a book. I'm going to get it from something. All right, good. I just want to be
under the sun, so we all get our information from somewhere.
Yeah,
but the point is just learning how to reference it, and you can. And also, I would say APA online or MLA online. Go to those websites because they can show you how to end quote for articles online, for website quote, things like that. They will give you they will even help you to draft one yourself. They'll draft it for you. So if you say,
I've done that. It's been a while. I've done that.
So that's a helpful resource too.
APA and what was the other one?
And MLA.
MLA.
Yeah, those are all referencing tools or citations,
right. Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome.
So, yeah, Naomi, I have two questions.
Okay.
First is, what types of digital media do you personally go to just yourself as an individual? And the reason why I ask it is that I just want to know what people like to read. Like, are you into digital magazines? Are you into podcasts? Like, what do you really like doing when you're not, in business?
Right.
Digitally, just to see what people buy. And then the second thing I wanted to ask is, in terms of contributing to places like Monarch Magazine, other places, or even just interacting with Khadijah, like what do people look for that you need to have when they're looking to you to be either expert or contributor to something?
Okay, so your first question, I have been encouraged to go online and use other digital media or look at other digital media platforms, just like I, encourage Tanya through school. So they often give us different sites that we should go to. And I mentioned Huffington Post because they have a lot of articles on there. And it's written by people like you and I, professionals in our field. And you could also actually submit a request to be a writer on there. So sites like that one, the other one, it escapes me. I will get back to you on it. It was another one that we were encouraged to go on. Of course, Forbes is a good one online. Forbes.com, I believe it is. That's another one that gives you lists. Reddit, REDDIT. Reddit is one of those sites that they actually get the input of the viewers or from their audience on which articles they should post. That one's really cool. I think it's really cool because they're not just putting stuff up there that they think we'll like. They're getting our input on what we'd like. So Reddit is a good one. Cheddar, CHEDDAR, Cheddar. That's an online. It's almost like an online CNN, but it's more modern, and it's more interesting. And they give live news, and it's like I said, it's more modern. So you'll see some fresh faces on there giving their spin on the news and stuff like that. Cheddar is cool. So those are all sites that when you are looking to go into the digital media world, those are good, I would say, starting points to figure out how you should do it professionally. And even if you're looking to be a writer, sorry for the background noise because my kids are in here, so you might hear them talking and playing and stuff. But anyway, those are good starting points for you to kind of see how you could maybe get into that world. And they also give lists and things on how, the top 10 best ways to do X, Y, and Z. You can get so much information on those sites. It's like ridiculous. But it's also very helpful. And I'm grateful for being in school because it encourages me to go on those sites. It sharpens me. Like, okay, go on these sites, look at these articles now, write your response to that article and things like that. And it helps me to get information from it and also, increase my skills as a digital media professional. Okay, so your second question was about my connection with Kadisha and Monarch Magazine and what they're looking for when they reach out to me.
Yeah.
So again, like I said, a lot of times people are following me on social media and things like that. Now with Monarch Magazine, I actually went to the Congressional Black Caucus 2 years ago. I just again, one of those things where I just stepped out on faith and said, I'm just going to go to this event. And I went as a media professional to cover one of the events there. It was the Phoenix Awards or something like that. And then I went to a luncheon, and the editor-in-chief of Monarch Magazine was there. And the luncheon was up and coming professionals. And I went to that luncheon, and they do like a power mentoring session. So you go to the table for your industry, which was media for me, and you get mentored by somebody for like maybe 30 minutes that's in that industry. And the editor-in-chief from the magazine Monarch was there, and we just connected. He was like, I could see your passion. I could see how much you enjoy what you do. And so from then on, that was a connection for me. So that didn't come necessarily by way of digital media, but definitely by way of collaboration and by way of not being afraid to make those connections with people that, especially that are in the industry that you want to be in, but maybe they are a few notches above you. And you don't know what kind of opportunities they'll give to you. Like Kadisha has been very, very instrumental. You all are in amazing hands because she really wants to see you come forward in your purpose. And everyone she connects with, she does that too, including me. I had never written a book until I met Kadisha, and she was led by God to ask me, and she didn't even realize that was something that my mother never got a chance to do. So she just opened up and helped me to make a dream of my mother's come true. And so, really when people are connecting with me and wanting to get my services, they see the real me. They see me inspiring, telling my story, and they want more of that. And that's how it happens.
Yeah. Oh, thanks.
You're welcome. Any more questions?
Oh, I'm sitting here talking on mute. I just wanted to read Janice's comment, if I can find it. She said, awesome presentation. Thank you so much. Very useful. She did that in the group chat. So I wanted to make sure that you knew that she is here listening. We can't see her pretty face, but she is very in tune.
Awesome.
Any other questions for Naomi? No, let's give her a round of applause. Yay. This was so good. So good. And I am so serious. Well, you said it. I didn't. You said part 2, so I'm in agreement. I think we need a definite part 2. But my biggest takeaways, as I'm just sitting here, and I'm going to have to just think all of this through once we disconnect tonight, is my words was collaboration and connection. That is what I feel like I am charged personally to do, and I want to pass that charge on to each and every one of you on here, is to connect. Like, that is what God does. Kingdom connections, divine connections. There was nothing, I didn't know anything about Naomi. I just saw her. I guess my spirit was drawn to her spirit.
Mm-hmm.
But I had to be at that event in order to connect with her.
Yes.
And so we have to get outside of our comfort zone. I'm sitting here convicted on an event that I wanted to go to in DC a few weeks ago, and I didn't. I just let it pass me. But I'm like, we got to be intentional about getting outside of our homes and doing the face-to-face connections, one, but two, doing the online connections, because that is convenient. So we have to connect. That is how we level up. By connecting with other people on different levels, they pull us up, we pull others up, and then we all end up winning in the end. So that is my homework to myself. That is my homework to you. I want you to connect with at least, I'm going to say 3 people outside of your state on social media. Hey, my name is such and such. I saw that you may even be friends with them, because let's just be real. Some of the people we're friends with or have or follow us, we don't know them personally. So just choose somebody who's not in your state, who does look of some interest, who may be, like-minded, someone who you believe that you can bless and they can bless you, and connect with them. That is definitely something that I'm going to hold myself to, and I'm going to charge you to do the same. But again, this was so phenomenal. It helped me to see social media as not a hindrance, but it can be a true help to me, my business. It could let somebody see the light of Jesus, which is what we're all trying to do. So I was super blessed. So I want to pray for your business, Naomi, and I want to just pray for each and every one of us on here. And then I'll go into announcements. I'm seeing there's something else coming through the chat. Janice, yes, you can tweet that or put it on social media. Connecting is how you level up, and put my little name by it. But I want to just pray this thing, because what you say, Naomi?
I said, give that credit.
I want to just, no, before I do that, there was one other thing too I wanted to charge you to do, because sometimes we do get in the hustle and bustle of business and ministry. Trust me, I'm all up in it. And we forget to make time for our friends and family and people who have been doing life with us forever before we were even entrepreneurs. I want to charge you to, if you don't have it already, download Marco Polo. That has been a phenomenal tool that I've been using. And I have to give my husband credit first, because he's using it with his friends. But it allows you to connect with people. It's almost like a video text message. So it's not live or anything like that. But it allows you to be involved with people throughout the day. So me and my friend, who I hadn't seen in forever, she's a nurse. So I'm like, she's sending me a message while she's at the hospital. So it allows me to see her, whereas it would take us months to see each other, even though she lives up the street. So Marco Polo is a great way to connect with your personal people, so you can make a connection with them also. And then the last charge is a professional picture. We need a professional image. If you do not have professional photos already, I need you to go ahead and get some. I did have an idea. I haven't talked to the girls about it yet, but I did have an idea of us taking some pictures at one of our Wisdom on the Wall events, and that kind of being one of our activities. But you absolutely need some professional pictures. If nothing else, for your website, for your Facebook page, and any other social media platform. And I think that was it in terms of homework. Let me see. Yeah, so I want to just pray this thing, because I feel the anointing on this presentation. Like, it is so powerful, and I just want God to take it to the ends of the earth. So let's pray. Lord, I thank you for my friend, for my sister, for my girl, Naomi Burrell. God, I thank you for her carving out time to be with us on this You Purpose Me online chat. I ask that you would just bless her tremendously. Take her business, take this particular presentation to the ends of the earth, God, so business people will learn how to do business online effectively in a level up format, God, but not just business, but we can take your message to the ends of the earth with digital media. So let us be open to the ways that we can use it. Let us not be intimidated by it. We come against that spirit of fear, that spirit of intimidation, that spirit of doubt, oh God. We can do all things through Christ who strengthens us. So God, send this message, send all of our businesses, all of our ministries, all of our books, our audios, all those things that we don't even know we're going to do. Send it to the ends of the earth, oh God, using digital media. So I thank you again for Naomi. I thank you for everybody on here, God. And I thank you for you just giving me this idea, because you know it just came out of nowhere. So I thank you, for Holy Spirit, for being so creative, and bless the person who has created all these platforms, God, the owner of Facebook and Instagram and Fiverr and Thumbtack and Gig Salad. Continue to bless their efforts, oh God. And as we sow into them, we know we are going to get a harvest, because we are going to use this platform correctly. So Lord, bless the businesses and the ministries here, and bless everyone as they return back to their families. So we love you, we lift you up, and we give you all the praise and glory. In Jesus' name I pray. Amen. Amen. So there are a few announcements, and then we will wrap this thing up. We're coming up on 8:30, so we're doing pretty good on timing. But I mentioned earlier that we've been going hard since March. So we are coming up to the end very soon. December is going to be here, and that essentially completes the 2018 version of You Purpose Me. And so I am, me and the Holy Spirit are chatting on what it's going to look like for 2019, but I welcome your feedback. I value your feedback. I value your commitment to me, to the program, and our journey that we've been on together. And so I'm going to put together a survey fairly soon, in the next week or so, and I want to send it out to you on how the program can essentially be leveled up, and how it can get better, and what it is that you may be needing, or what it is that you love the most, and all those good things. So be on the lookout for that. But again, be as honest and open as possible, because I do value your feedback. So what I'm going to do is try to make it anonymous so you can feel that you can give it your all without me even knowing who filled it out. So that will be coming to your email soon. The other thing, I value you as well, and I do try to keep my word. And one of the things of being a part of You Purpose Me is you get to find out what's happening before anybody else does. So I do have, it's been a tugging on my heart for like weeks, and I was really trying to run from it because I got a lot going on in the next few months. But it has been a tug on my heart to really try to help people birth their book. And so I will be doing an intimate session on October 27th, and it's all about self-publishing. And that will be from 9 a.m. to noon. And I haven't asked yet, but I'm asking online. I'm going to see if I can zoom in Naomi for certain things. I wasn't even thinking from a digital perspective, but just from an inspirational perspective. So either way, her and some other special guests, I want them to chime in as well, because I value other people's input and expertise. So that will be Saturday, October 27th in the morning. So you still have the rest of your day. And even if you're not thinking about writing a book, the other thing that is related to is just producing something. So it will inspire you, but it will give you nuggets on how to produce something, whether it's a book or an ebook or an audio, that will cover that also. So I am asking you to share with anyone who you know is on the fence of writing a book or a cookbook or whatever. It's just on my heart. There's just too many people sitting on the fence with books and stuff in them that we need to get out. And realistically, we can get it out in 2018 if they want. But more importantly, we can get them on the steps and on track to get it out in 2019. So that is coming up, and I haven't told a soul. Only one person knows, and that's just because she was pushing me to do it. But you will be getting an email about it tonight. So that's that. And then, our next meeting, or my last announcement. Our next meeting, right now I have it. It really it's going to be between October 23rd and 30th. I'm waiting to hear back from someone on whether or not I'll be sharing and speaking on that day. But right now we'll go with Tuesday, October 30th. And if I have to speak on that day, I'll have to move it up to the 23rd. But right now you can mark in your calendar for Tuesday, October 30th. And let me make sure that's the right date.
Yes.
And it'll be 7:00. And who knows, it may be part 2 or if it's not part 2, it'll be really, I want to get to a place where we can recap and review the year on everything that we've talked about these past few months and narrow down what you want to accomplish in the next month or so. And one thing I want to mention on that is, we got to be realistic with our expectations. So we are coming up on October in a few days, and it's okay if you haven't done what you thought you were supposed to do. It could have been that our expectations of ourselves was inaccurate. And sometimes we are overachievers and we want to do 1,000,001 things. And really, God's like, I just needed you to get some rest. And amen to rest. That is a good goal, and that's a good goal to have. So, but I do want to recap because we have talked about so much, and I want to make sure that you at least have that in a central place. So either way, October 30th is our next one. And then we only have 2 more sessions after that. Let me make sure. Yeah, and that's all of my announcements. I'm just so blessed by tonight. I'm going to spend the next 30 minutes just kind of soaking up everything I just got and really, hi, pretty girl. That's Naomi's little one, but she's not so little, but we'll call her little Lily for now. But yeah, I'm just going to soak up what I got, and I encourage you to do the same thing before you run and do something else, because there's always something else to do. But just soak up what you got and get some action items in place, at least write down some things that you want to do and do them. And do them. But I, again, was so blessed by tonight. Thank you so much, Naomi. I know you got 1,000,001 things to do, and I appreciate you making the time for us. And we were so blessed. Oh, before I forget, how can they connect with you if they want to learn more, know more, or work with you, or sit at your feet?
Yes, absolutely. So my business email is info@BE Global. So it's BEinspiredGlobal.media. And I always spell BE out so people don't think it's just a letter B. So it's info@BEinspiredGlobal.media. My website, I'm always adding to it. So I want to add this, that everything doesn't have to be perfect. Mm-hmm. When you're doing things, you got to start somewhere. So my website is up. We are still adding things to it. So there may be some things that will say coming soon on there, but the website is there, www.BEinspiredGlobal.media. You can give me a call on my cell phone if you want, 443-722-3728. If you have any questions in general about anything, but because this call is related to digital media, if you have any questions specifically about digital media, where to get started, how to get started, if you're looking to get into radio broadcasting, you don't know where to start, you might want to start a podcast, I can definitely help you in that. I can link you in with stations that are looking for personalities, you name it, we can help you. We also do media coverage at events. My husband and I will come to your event and do like a red carpet for you if you want. We'll do that for you and give you that whole experience. And it just takes your event to the next level when you do that. So we are willing to do that as well. Again, you can contact us at info@BEinspiredGlobal.media if you're looking for that service. Or you can call me, 443-722-3728. I'd love to chat with you.
Thank you. And I put all that information in the chat box, her email, her website, as well as her cell phone number. So call, or I know sometimes text is a little bit easier, but all that information is there. And that is something that's priceless. For somebody to give you their number,
yeah,
you don't understand how valuable that is. If I ain't know you, girl, I'll call you right now.
I trust everybody on this line because they are connected to you, and most of them I know because through Wisdom on the Wall. So
right,
I trust y'all.
Oh my goodness. Thank you so much again. Well, each and every one of you be blessed tonight. I hope you were so blessed by this and that you will, put it in your parking lot if you're not ready to use it right now, but put it in your parking lot so you can use it soon and very soon, particularly if you're trying to level up in your business and your ministry. So that's all I have. You will get the recording in a few days. So be blessed. Good night. Carolyn, if you can stay on. I would have chat with you if you could. But be blessed, everybody. Love you.
Love you too. Good night.
Oh my God. That was good, wasn't it?
It was. I couldn't write fast enough. Oh gosh.
Oh, let me end this. Hold on. I need to end this.
Okay.